The following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
Make Vancouver great again. Make Vancouver elite again, okay? Come on. I'm Canadian.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Locked On Canucks. My name is Trevor Beggs, co-host of Locked On Canucks and also a Canucks writer currently with Daily Hive Vancouver. Before we dive into the episode, we got to thank you for tuning into Locked On Canucks because it's your Canucks every freaking day, man, whether we like it or not. But guess what? No matter what happens, we always love doing this for you and you and you and you. If you like what we're doing, go subscribe, like on YouTube, on the podcast side. Go follow us and leave a 5-star review. Man, oh man, I think you give the Canucks season so far maybe 2.5 stars out of 5. But Jonathan Lekkerimäki, I'd be giving this guy 4.5 stars out of 5 for his performance so far in the
4.5? Where's the 5, man? Be nice, man. If he was your son, you'd give him 5. Let's not have a bias here, man. If you were related to him, give him a 5.
Okay. I do want to set some expectations here, right? And we're going to get into the tweeners on this episode, the prospects, if you will, who have played games for the Vancouver Canucks this season. Maybe call it a bit of a ranking or a bit of a recap of the guys who have been called up and played games for the Vancouver Canucks this season. And it starts with Jonathan Lekkerimäki. And I think the main reason I don't want to give him a 5 out of 5 is just to temper expectations a little bit, okay? This is still a guy who's, he's not winning the AHL MVP award. I also, Jake DeBrusk called him David Pastrnak, or his shot reminds him of David Pastrnak. Look, I don't think Jonathan Lekkerimäki is suddenly going to become the next David Pastrnak, but there's a ton to like about Jonathan Lekkerimäki. He's got 18 goals on the season, one of the league leaders in the AHL, especially considering the fact that he's been called up and he's played a number of games with the Vancouver Canucks. So Jonathan Lekkerimäki kind of leads this group of, I have 7 guys listed here of, call-ups, prospects, tweeners who play games for the Canucks. But, Jonathan Lekkerimäki and his ascension. Kyle, this is the big question. We've talked about Brock Boeser a lot. Do you feel somewhat comfortable letting Brock Boeser go or be traded with Jonathan Lekkerimäki in the helm? And I guess as a follow-up, do you think Jonathan Lekkerimäki is ready to be a full-time player?
Why can't we just talk about the second question? Why do we have to bring up the first one, Trevor? Did you what's in your coffee tonight or today? What is it, man?
It's empty.
The blood of the devil? What's going on there? Why can't we just talk about the second damn question, okay? Is Jonathan Lekkerimäki ready right now? Dude, I think so. Because we definitely need it, because at the very most, like, all you just want one of, is it Kevin O'Connor or Drew O'Connor? Anyways, you only want one of those guys and Kiefer Sherwood in your top 6, not both of those guys. And yeah, the Canucks have what, like 11 goals in the last 6 games or some bullshit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's that guy. Okay, case in point, Trevor Beggs. He's been through a lot this season. New rank, new continent. And I know he got here late last year, but this was all new to him. And he's excelled in Abbotsford, even though he's been injured in Abbotsford. I don't know the significance of his injuries, but it looked pretty bad. Yet he's come back and he just continues to score goals. And some of them are highlight reel goals. We're not talking about tapping them in front of the net. He's doing his thing. He's looking like a goal scorer, okay? He's not looking like, how Brock Boeser over the last couple of seasons, like, don't get me wrong, you got to score some goals in front of the net and do your thing. But I feel like Jonathan Lekkerimäki has scored way more exciting goals in the AHL in one season than Brock Boeser has in his last 3. Like, he's looking like an elite goal scorer, okay? For real. No, for real. He's looking good. Like, he's somebody you show highlights of if you want them to get into the game. Like, he's looking really good. And on top of that, when he got called up to play for Vancouver, he looked all right. He didn't look elite. He did score a goal. I think awareness-wise, he did look like he belonged. Like the size and whatnot and the pace, like, whatever. He's got to get used to that. But he did a lot of great things, and he was playing for a Canuck team that's, was insane. It was like, to bring up the devil again, it was hell in that locker room. That was his first experience in a dressing room. And like, keep in mind, like, the whole Elias Pettersson thing too. Like, you probably like, okay, if Elias Pettersson's going through all this, like, what the hell is the NHL? I didn't know. It's like, you know how you don't want to meet your heroes? Like, what the hell is going on right now? No, straight up. Yeah, he just continued to, like, again, got hurt, did his thing, boom, bam, like an NHL experience like that where he didn't like stay in Vancouver, right? He deserved to be sent down, but he's focused. He's focused. He seems like a guy who wanted. He's taking this serious. And even if you look at prior to Lekkerimaki going into this season, like he's gone through a couple moments of resilience too, and recently he just bounces back like an elite player.
Well, I think that really bodes well for his future, Kyle. The fact that, he showed some flash at the NHL level, but went back down, put in the work, kept scoring, got injured, came back, and just kept doing the same thing over and over again. So, again, he is, one of 2 crown jewels amongst prospects right now. But look, I get this reputation for me as being the darkest guy on the program.
Yeah, look at you.
At Jonathan Lekkerimaki right now, 18 goals in 30 games so far this season. That's one of the best goal per game rates in the entire league. There is one guy who is, I kind of set the standard of, we're not talking about David Pastrnak, but we're talking about a guy who could probably be a top 6 player. So another Swedish prospect by the name of Isaac Rosen is one of the league leaders in the AHL in goal scoring right now, 25 goals in 48 games. So he's a year older. The pace is slightly less than Jonathan Lekkerimaki, so Jonathan Lekkerimaki at a higher rate. But Isaac Rosen is a prospect in the Buffalo Sabres system. I don't think many are expecting him to become a star. But that being said, again, Jonathan Lekkerimaki is at a higher rate than that. And you hear some of the other comparables tossed around about Jonathan Lekkerimaki, and they're more so complimentary top 6 players. I know one of the names that got tossed around the time that Jonathan Lekkerimaki was being drafted was Victor Olofsson of the now Vegas Golden Knights, but the Buffalo Sabres at the time. And again, when these players are nothing to seize at, you're talking about guys who can score 30 goals and be a threat on the power play, but aren't necessarily a guy who can drive your line. I mean, ironically, this does kind of sound like Brock Boeser the more and more we talk about it. But I think Jonathan Lekkerimaki, you've seen it when the puck's on his stick. He's got a bit more razzle-dazzle in his game.
Dude, game breaker. Yo, play driver. You know how Brock Boeser was looking in year 1? Like, he was looking like a play driver. He would do things by himself. I feel like that's, like, essentially, like, 51% of what a play driver is. Like, yeah, can he make the players better around him? Blah, blah, blah. Can he just generate offense for, again, those around him? Blah, blah, blah. But then it's like, yo, can he do something on his own? Brock Boeser can't do that offensively. And I know it's just the AHL, but Lekkerimaki, he's not looking like Tyler Toffoli. He's looking like, give me the puck, and I'm going to do something with it. In the AHL, it's his first year in North America. So don't go out comparing him to Brock Boeser. Trevor, we're trying to manifest good. You can think great things. You can think great things. I know it's one step at a time, and all the little things make the big things. That's a Canadian saying. They put that on the $10 bill. I think John Cooper's on the bill now. But let's just sit down, pray, be Findus for a while, and think about this guy. Maybe not being our savior this season. Who knows? Again, he's done a lot already. Maybe he plays hockey. I don't. Again, I'm just a Findu. Maybe he does it this season, but I just feel as if that's like one thing I'm really, really, really looking forward to going into next season. And it's Tom Willander too, but Jonathan Lekkerimaki, he's like exceeding expectations. Isn't he? Like, look at the stats, look at the numbers. It kind of seems historic.
Yeah, again, I'm not going to go on the historic level, but it's pretty damn good for his age, right? And I think one of the things you've seen from Lekkerimaki this season, if you look at the goals he's scored, is he definitely has the amazing shot, right? He scored lots of power play goals, getting into the slot, firing from high on the circle. But he's also kind of getting those tip-ins and goals by the net too. So it's not all just these perimeter sniper goals. Like, he is starting to drive to the net a bit more, which you did see towards the tail end of his time in the SHL too. And that's a big thing for, both Jonathan Lekkerimaki and his NHL success and having some versatility, but also for the way that Rick Tocchet likes his boys to play hockey. They're not doing as much of it crash in the net, but he definitely likes guys who can crash the net and score goals. And that doesn't have to be Lekkermaki's primary job, but he's got to be able to do it, right? I mean, you think of a guy like when Sven Baertschi was in Vancouver, it's, the guy had talent, but he was a perimeter player and didn't go to the net. You do need a guy like Lekkerimaki to be a little bit more diverse than that. And he's showing that so far in the AHL this season. There's a reason why when you're looking at prospect rankings across the NHL, the top prospects not playing in the big leagues, Jonathan Lekkerimaki is, I think I've seen him as low as like 30th on the Athletics board to as high as like 11th on Craig Budden's board. So again, so he is one of the best players right now who's not in the NHL.
100%. And bro, I think we put too much weight on like what we actually think a Rick Tocchet prototype player is, or like what he wants all his players to be. Sure, he wants them to like crash and bang and do his thing, but he's been so vocal about wanting players to just move their feet, do something with it, take a shot, don't second guess yourself. It's like, again, we talked about this in the past. Like Rick Tocchet's played with all of the best players of all time and has coached some of them too. Like, I feel as if within the DNA of each player that he has on the team, he wants them to like fight for each other, play hard, not give up, be resilient, be a dog, all those things. But I think this like theory that he would possibly want, like he would much rather prefer like banging goals than other types of goals is, I think we need to like forget about that. I don't think that's the truth. As long as Lekkerimaki, and like you mentioned, he's willing to go in front of the net, and we saw it in the AHL too. Like he gets hit and he just bounces right back up, even when nobody defends him. Like he doesn't like sulk or he's not in pain. He just gets right back into the play. Like as long as he's a dog like that, as long as he's talking like that, it's good enough. All in all, like I wouldn't get in this guy's way. Like don't overcoach him, don't do any of that stuff. I think he has the instincts to be good defensively, but they got to just let a guy be a game breaker. If they're letting Philip Hedl be it, like Lekkerimäki is going to do the same thing.
Yeah, hey, who knows? It's the Canucks do need more play drivers, and it's a crazy thought to be like Lekkerimäki is going to be the guy to save Pettersson. But we talk about Garland being a play driver, we talk about Hedl being a play driver. Maybe Lekkerimäki, get him back in the NHL. Yeah,
the only thing that could save Pettersson is us. Okay, like I said, we're working on the cure for tendonitis. Okay, any super chat that we get, we're gonna cure. Like I'm gonna do the research. I'm gonna buy some coffee, read the books. Unless y'all send us millions of dollars, then I can hire a doctor. But in the meantime, like, yo, we gonna find the cure for tendonitis, and I'm gonna save the city. And Trevor Beggs, bro, thank you, man. I know this was your idea, and I took it, but thank you so much, man, for just being that guy who wants to cure tendonitis. So you're a beautiful person, man. You're a beautiful person, man. Your family should be so proud of you. Your kids should be so proud of you. The city should be so proud of you. Trevor, man, willing to give up both his knees for Pettersson, and also just like take, like, be a philanthropist. You don't got to be a financial advisor anymore. Be a philanthropist, do the research, and cure tendonitis. One donation at a time. Locked on Canucks.
Matt, as soon as I heard that you had tendonitis in your, then I knew I had to find the cure, man. So I'm here for you. I'm here for Pettersson, and I'm here for you and you and you. Jonathan Lekkerimäki, again, he's going to be a top 6 player in the NHL for a long time. I feel pretty confident about that. Let's talk about some of the other guys too who have played games to the Vancouver Canucks this season. Kyle, maybe we'll do a draft style. And maybe we'll list our guy. Okay, we got to pick one guy who we're going to ride or die with among the rest of the players here, not named Jonathan Lekkerimäki. Let's have some fun on the other side here on Locked On Canucks after we shouted our friends over at Indeed. Man, oh man, if Kyle ever has to replace me on Locked On Canucks, he's posting a job on Indeed, okay? Because Indeed, they get things done fast, okay? That's what they call Indeed the Flash. No, wait, that's what my wife calls me. Never mind. It's all good. So if in your business, if you realize you need to hire someone yesterday, how can you find those amazing candidates fast? You know the answer. You got to use Indeed, because Indeed is all you need, baby. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites, because Indeed sponsored jobs put your posts at the top of the page, right on the tip, and helps you reach the right candidates faster, okay? I've been in the spot with my business where you need to find that right hire. Like yesterday, the pressure's on like Donkey Kong, and every day without the right person is a setback. That's exactly when Indeed sponsored jobs come in handy. They make sure your post is seen by the right candidates right now. Now you can speed up your hiring process with a $75 sponsored job credit. Just go to Indeed.com/lockedon right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this very podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring, Indeed, it's all you need.
Okay, we back doing this, and that's talking about your Vancouver Canucks. Trevor Beggs, second best dad in the world. Kyle Bowen. I was about to say greatest Findu of all time, but that's not fair. You know, I saw some footage out there. A lot of Fijian people at BC Place watching the rugby sevens over the weekend, cooking plow, feeding the people, cooking roti, you know, being nice, being lovely. Dude, a lot of great Findus around. I'm probably ranked like 100, 130th. Speaking of which, let's get to this comment. And this comes from Japan, okay? All the way from Japan? Probably not. Okay, Japan 4, he's in the Discord. He's probably from, like, Coquitlam, Maple Ridge. I don't know. Kelowna, who knows? Anyways, he's saying Pettersson's 130th in points and being paid like the fifth highest paid player in the league with 11.6 a year. No ish, I'm going to hate. He hasn't done anything positive to help the team. And, Japan, just go outside and breathe some air, man. Drink some water. Don't drink some Fiji water. Trevor, have you ever drank Fiji water when you were sad or mad or angry?
I don't know if I drank when I was sad.
Your girlfriend ever get mad at you? Your wife ever get mad at you? You just give her a bottle of Fiji water, see what happens. Damn, you are what you drink. You are what you eat.
But that should be the newest sponsor here on Locked On Canucks, brought to you unofficially by Fiji Water. I bet these guys are drinking Fiji water, man, because they've done their part in getting a recall to the Vancouver Canucks and making an impact in some way. So, Kyle, we talked about Jonathan Lekkerimäki, but there's a few other guys here. Let's do a draft style, man. Like, who catches your attention first? Who do you want to talk about? Maybe let's run the button, man, because you got a great button here for it. Let's get these guys a little grade here on Locked On Canucks.
Okay. Well, this is not gonna work out right here. Okay, you know what? It's right across Trevor's face. Who cares? Max Hassan, Atu Raty, Jonathan Lekkerimäki, Archie Baines, Elias Pettersson, Linus Karlsson, and Victor Mancini. I thought it was Vincent Mancinio. Okay. Anyways, grading these guys: Max Hassan, B, Atu Raty, C+, Lekkerimäki. Are we grading them on the AHL or just their whole year in general?
I think from what you've seen at the NHL level.
Okay, cool. So Atu Raty, yeah. Did I give him a C+? Yeah, I did. Jonathan Lekkerimäki, a C+. Archie Baines, a C. Elias Pettersson, an A+. Linus Karlsson, honestly, a B- because he proved me wrong. And Victor Mancinio, the third, NDA. Like, he's played one game.
Yeah, I gave Victor Mancini a B- in his last game. But when I think about guys that have caught my attention from that list, it's hard not to go with DPD. And Kyle, I want us to choose, one of these guys that they got to be our guy for the rest of the season. Like, we got to be the biggest fan of this dude for the rest of the season. I can let you go first if you want, because I already kind of alluded to who my guy is.
Go first, Trevor. Go first.
I'm taking DPD, man. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Dude, the new Elias Pettersson is in town. Elias Pettersson, I should say. And I can't believe this guy's already playing games over Carson Soucy, right? Like, it's a pretty crazy, wild thing. Like, who would have thought that? I think when we were talking about DP at the beginning of the season, it's like, give him the full year in the AHL. Like, he's probably not going to see NHL games. And here he is as a 3rd round pick, 80th overall, making some noise. And of course, at that huge game against the Colorado Avalanche where he was chucking the body around, making plays. It looks like he's due for his first NHL goal sooner rather than later. I mean, I love the way this guy can move. I love the physicality. I think he's got an Alex Edler-like career ahead of him, maybe with less offense and more physicality. But DPD, he might just be my guy for the rest of the season, man. Like, I'm gonna be slurping this guy until he's for the rest of his career.
Yep, there you go, man. Slurping the DPD. Yeah, he's just been impressive, and over the last 2 games, the team's been pinned in their own zone a couple times. We're getting outshot a lot, blah blah blah, but. He's not looking no worse than like a number 5 or number 6 defenseman. He doesn't look out of place. And just the little things. I mean, I mentioned this, 3 days ago? Whenever he does make a mistake, he bounces back like within that shift to make amends, right? He doesn't get the puck out. The puck's getting out like 5 seconds later. That's impressive, man. He's done that often. He did that against Vegas and Washington too. Like, that's and Colorado. The guy's impressive. He really is. And Trevor, I don't know what's in Abbotsford, like what's going on there, but I feel like outside of Quinn Hughes and Kevin Lankinen, like, dude, those guys have been so impressive. Like, just to have one of those guys really pop off, and I'm actually putting Elias Pettersson in the pop off category, and now the Lekkerimaki thing too, like having two of those guys. And, you know, in the AHL, Raty, I think he scored a goal this year. In the NHL, I'm sorry. And like, he hasn't stood out, but in the AHL, this guy's dominating. That's 3. That's good. That's really good.
Yeah, 100%. And
Manny Malhotra. Yo, sorry to cut you off, but it's like, yo, after last year when who left? Jeremy Colleton, right? He's like, F Vancouver, F Abbotsford, out of nowhere. It was like a couple weeks after we got eliminated from the playoffs. This guy's like, yo, F this, puck this. Maybe mad at management. He just quits. And Manny Malhotra, who's never been a head coach before, if I'm correct, comes into this environment, and yo, he's done a great job.
Yeah, no, he really has, man. And again, it's been the cupboards have been restocked in Abbotsford by this management group, but it's also a fairly young team. Like they were kind of lacking some veteran, I guess star power is kind of the wrong word to use the AHL, but you know, this is a team that was carried by guys like Sheldon Rempel and Sheldon Dries and guys like that. Now it's being carried by the young guys, right? I mean, like, look at the leaders in points this season. It's Aatu Raty, it's Nils Aman, you know, Linus Karlsson, Archie Baines, Jonathan Lekkerimäki, Ty Mueller, Danil Klimovich, you know, Sammy Blais is
that's another one. So that's another one, though. You're just getting me excited, man, because we've been so negative over the last 3 days. Like, dude, honestly speaking, like, I feel bad for my girlfriend, like I said. You know, honest, like, real talk, man. I made all these promises on Valentine's Day. The Canucks go on a 2-game losing streak, dude. Think I give a shit about love? What? That's life, though, man. My first love, the Vancouver Canucks. Where am I going with this? Oh, yeah, it's been depressing. Yeah, you just listed off a lot of cool things, man. A lot of exciting things. And then you just mentioned, what's his name? Dmitry Filipovich.
Dmitry Filipovich. Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Kalima. Okay, this guy, the second round pick, picked over Stankoven and all those faces years and years ago. Looks like the worst second round pick of all time. This was probably his last chance before he kicked it back to Belarus, to be honest. And bro, even he's good this year. Like, he wasn't good last year. Like, maybe he made rides, but he looks good this year. That seems like a miracle.
Yeah, it was again. He had quite a fall from grace within the organization. I mean, last season he played. I know he had some injuries as well, but he had 2 goals and 4 points in 24 games, and that was his 3rd season in the AHL. And look, it was always going to be a bit of a longer development trajectory for him because he pretty much jumped right from Belarus to the AHL. Like, no one makes that jump. And look, I'm not going to say I'm not even sure if Danil Klimovich is going to play NHL games, but he certainly looked a lot better this season overall. And he's getting close to, you know, career high in goals down there too. But so again, with Manny Malhotra, back to your point, like I think he's done a really good job with a very young team down there in Abbotsford this season, a team that's had their goaltending in flux as well. And you start with Tolopilo and Patera, who's in and then he's out, and then Shilovs gets back down for a handful of games. But the goaltending in Abbotsford this season has not been stellar. Like, Tolopilo has nights where he looks like an AHL All-Star, and then nights where he's just letting in like 6-7 goals. He has an .892 save percentage on the season. I know I'm curious if Callum Sandu's here now. Talk about calling Tolopilo up, but so Manny Malhotra is kind of in spite of the goaltending, and despite the fact he's got a really young AHL team right now. So again, there's good bones in place of the Canucks organization. Obviously at the top, bit of a different story, but again, like for the purpose of this episode, I was kind of looking at the young guys and who has impressed us the most among the call-ups so far this season. And Kyle, as we get to the other side here, I do want you to give us your guy from the list that we've talked about today. Who are you going to be slurping off for the rest?
No. That's not.
You're listening to Locked On Canucks.
All right.
Slurping every day. If you like slurping, wait, what?
Okay, we back doing this, and that's talking about your Vancouver Canucks. One love to you and you and you and you. Do us all a favor, hit the like button. Again, we're trying to find the cure for tendonitis. Trevor wants to take dance classes too. He's trying to learn how to Dougie. That's the new thing in 2025. And life's expensive out here, man. I spent $110 at Safeway the other day, and I'm like, yo, I'm stupid, man. I'm stupid. This is why I promote Cactus Club on the show a lot, because I might as well go there every day to eat. It's the same thing. Crazy, man. So yeah, hit the like button. Save a life.
There you go, man. Save a life. And Kyle, speaking of saving a life, you can always save a life by giving some love, man. And among the love here, again, we talked about our guy. I think Lekkerimiki's on a different level, so let's leave him out of the conversation. I said DPD's my guy, so choose your guy here. Like, who are you going to be the biggest fan of, man?
I'm picking DPD too. I'm doing it. I'm doing it only
well,
because
we got to have different guys, man.
No, we don't. We're the same guy. We're brothers, man. I don't want you to come on, man. It's like that's the annoying thing. Like you get the first pick and you get the best player, dude. I'm sorry, yo. On this note, though, I'm gonna let you and your scouting prowess or your assessment prowess give another guy some love, even though he's not my guy. I'm a big DPD fan right now. Okay, loving the D. Ratu, just talk about him a bit more because I gave him a C+, and I wasn't like in love with his NHL action. He actually started the year with the club too, and he's versatile. The coach really likes him. Again, I don't think this guy's a failure by any means, but can you spend some time just I don't know, just holding Ratu high and let's have some fun. Everyone in the damn comments, this whole damn episode, we've been going for 26 minutes, just bitching and complaining about Pettersson the whole time, bro. Like it's crazy. It's like, yo, we're trying to have some fun here, but we definitely have the darkest fans and the Canucks fans right now. It's just the way it is. But let's just show some love right now and talk about Ratu, man.
Yeah, well, first and foremost, I think it's probably a little awkward if we're both trying to slurp the same guy. So I'll let you slurp.
No, it isn't, bro. Sharing is caring.
I'm going for
sharing is caring. Sharing is caring. What?
Okay, DPD's your guy. Ratu is my guy. He was going to be my second choice, and I'm really high on Ratu. I think again, 30 points in 31 AHL games this season. 21 years old. I mean, he's really not that much older than Jonathan Lekkerimaki. He's from the draft before Jonathan Lekkerimaki. And again, I know at the NHL this season, I think the lack of foot speed is probably the most evident thing that I noticed about Ratu. And I think as well, he's got a bit of Podkolzin in him in the sense that he is just very defensively responsible, but maybe not taking those risks offensively. But I do really believe that Ratu will begin to start taking those risks offensively as well. Because again, I think he's shown the scoring profile of the AHL level. He's been a number one center as a 21-year-old in the AHL. Those are not easy things to do. I really like the trajectory this guy's on. And even when he's with the NHL team, look at the faceoff percentage, winning 56% of the faceoffs for the Vancouver Canucks, working with Manny Malhotra on that side of things too. Winning draws as a left-hand shot, flipping his stick and doing it on the right side, and also has 53 hits in 21 games. On a hit per game basis. That's one of the highest totals on the Canucks this season. So I'm really, really a big fan of Ratu. So you can slurp DPD all day. Ratu is now my guy. DPD's yesterday's news.
There you go. You're a nice guy, Trevor. See, that's what makes you the second best dad of the year, man. You like to share the love, spread it out. Everyone's kids are your kids. That's a human being. Like, that's what we have to do in life, man. Share that empathy. Look out for each other every day, man. I learned that yesterday. The dude that hosted the Reading Rainbow, I didn't know this guy was also on Star Trek. I don't know if they're the same guys, but they look alike. Where am I going with this? Yo, I'm going straight to the comments, okay? Again, we tried doing it 28 minutes. If you can star a couple more, I'm not going to go off. I got a couple things to say, okay? I got a couple things to say. Again, one love to you and you and you and you. Go Canucks, go. Like us or hate us, disagree with us or not. We are all Canucks. I mean, we are all locked on Canucks. Let's get to these comments. Look at that dude, okay? That dude and Matt, I swear to you, they just share the same account, okay? It's one guy with one browser with two different accounts, okay? One on Google Chrome and one on Mozilla Firefox, okay? This guy's saying, hey, I know. I know the franchise is absolutely screwed, but how about Ratu? Come on, boys. He put that first sentence in quotations, being sarcastic, like, yeah, okay. We want to talk about the Flames, okay? We want to burn in the turmoil, okay? We don't want to talk about prospects and potential. Y'all spending way too much time with David Goggins, okay? Chill out. Read some Deepak Chopra. And look at Matt saying this, okay? Fans want to win, Kyle. Nobody cares about your hype bullshit. Because I'm hyping up Jonathan Lekkerimäki and DP talking about the good, man. Y'all need to go outside, man. And Trevor, they're questioning me like fans want to win, Kyle. Like, I don't want to win? What? Are you serious? I just told you, yo. Bro, I was supposed to see my girlfriend the other night. I said, yo, you don't want to see me after the Canucks lost 2 straight wins. I don't want to spread that toxic energy. I also just ate a Tupperware too from the microwave. I don't want you to have all these toxins. Okay, I don't want to kiss you with these lips. Look what this mouth has been doing on podcast after podcast. You don't think I care about winning? Winning affects me, man. Winning fixes everything. Winning fixes Kyle Bound. That being said, it's Tuesday. The sun is shining. Drink some water, man.
Is the sun
Drink some
shining?
water.
It's freaking miserable in Surrey.
It's always
today,
shining where I am, bro. It's always
Wow.
shining where I am, Trevor.
Unbelievable, man. I mean, look, it's I would get kind of, as much as I love doing this is a treat, man. Doing this for you and you, talking about the Vancouver Canucks, making tens of dollars here on Locked On Canucks. It does get a little old to talk about how Pettersson is, a shell of himself every single episode, 35 minutes an episode. And, again, all kinds of rumors flying around. Like we hear some too. You're hearing some on other platforms. I know there's the one recently from Go Radio that Matt was mentioning in the comments about, oh, now the players have gone to management and asked Petey to be traded. I mean, this is like some soap opera script kind of stuff. And, maybe it's true, maybe it's not. I don't know. But again, there's so many rumors floating around right now and you just don't know what's true. But we do know is that Pettersson on the ice is not the same guy. But, man, oh man, I think, again, the reason why I think it's worth being optimistic, A, it's sports, man. Cheer the F up. But secondly, you look at the Canucks now compared to where they were in the Jim Benning era, and it's like there was just nothing there. There's a couple prospects who had yet to blossom, but there was no depth. There's nothing there. And now it's, I don't want to say it's the opposite effect, but at least there's a floor there. There's a coaching staff there that you trust. There's a management team that you largely trust. There's good players in this organization. We had the best freaking defenseman in the world on our team. So the Canucks, again, are at least a competitive team. Yeah, I know Pettersson sucks, and I hate talking about it, but I also don't want to talk about 35 minutes a day because we spent a lot of time talking about it. And look, I think we are pretty fair here on Locked On Canucks too. I mean, we try to have Pettersson's back, and obviously he doesn't deserve it right now. And we lost some fans, and we said that Elias Pettersson is a scam of the Vancouver Canucks. We might have gained some fans that day, but we also lost.
That was the darkest day of my life. That was the darkest day of my professional life right there. I'm surprised my workplace is still keeping me around, considering the roles of the HR department these days in 2025. Look, okay, at the end of the day, people got to realize, Trevor. Sometimes I remind myself that, oh yeah, this is a show on YouTube. And sometimes I'm like, dude, I'm just talking shit with Trevor every day. And I was kind of like, I'm not even was looking for hope. I was actually curious. Like, is Jonathan Lekkerimäki legit? Like, is he legit? Because I keep seeing that this guy's just super, super legit. Okay. So we had to talk about it. And also, Trevor, I don't know how old their fan base is, but I don't want to do this. Maybe if you want to be vulnerable before we get out of here and get a little naked for the people, not really naked, but just show your head, top of your head. I mean, okay, look, you think I want to talk about this every day? Look at this. Trevor, you can do it too. I'm going to show people the top of my head. If I talk about the Canucks 2-game losing streak and Elias Pettersson even more, like go look at our past episodes. I'm going to be bald for my wedding photos. And then what am I going to tell my kids when they see the photos? I'm going to have to use AI to fix it all up. Okay? AI, the new plastic surgery. Look at the top of my head. Can you see it? Can you see the top of my head? What color is the top of my head? Be honest, Trevor.
I think when I look closely, I can actually see EP40's face in there, man. Like he's growing inside of you, man. He's stressing all the hair out of your head there, man. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, dude. Well, it's tough, man. It's tough. It's tough cheering for the Vancouver Canucks, man. It's tough cheering for the Vancouver Canucks. I'm lucky that my girlfriend's hot. I mean, my girlfriend's beautiful, and I can just give her a hug every now and then. I know how to breathe air. Okay. Shout out to Deepak Chopra. Shout out to Trevor Beggs. Shout out to every single one of you watching this. Hit the like button. Okay. Hit the like 100%. Button. See what happens. I want to get a hair transplant. I'm not going to lie. The more and more I think about it, going bald is cool. It's all natural. Boom, bam. That's beautiful. Or I'm down to rock a wig every single month. It's like getting a haircut every month. You can't tell me that's wrong. And you can't make fun of me because it's 2025. Okay. There you go. Sticks and stones may hurt my bones, but what's the saying? Yeah. Okay. Locked On Canucks.
Yeah, but Elias Pettersson will bounce back. Wait, what?
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Okay, one or two more comments before we get out of here. Garrett Mall with the error drop here. Our best prospect in the betting era was Jack Rathbone. Speaking of something growing inside you, Kyle, unbelievable. Little back Rathbone reference. What?
Whoa,
okay,
what?
I think it's time to get out of here.
Okay.
Locked On Canucks. My name's Trevor Beggs. That guy's Kyle Bowen. We appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in. You make Locked On Canucks what it is. The negative ones of you, the positive ones of you, we love each and every one of you, your families, your dogs, and your pet snakes too. Subscribe and like on YouTube.
If you're an asshole or you're a dumbass or you're just hopeful, we're all the same, Trevor. That's what, again, it's 2025, man. We're all the same, baby.
It's a beautiful thing. Just like the show here, Locked On Canucks. Peace.
Your Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.